Number 10 staff have spent weeks denying a U-turn was on the way.
Are you going to reverse welfare cuts, Prime Minister? What about winter fuel allowance cuts?
But as the Prime Minister headed to Parliament this morning, a U-turn was very much on the way. One he said he could make now because the economy had improved.
I recognise that people are still feeling the pressure of the cost of living crisis, and that is why we want to ensure that as we go forward, more pensioners are eligible for winter fuel payments. As you would expect, Mr. Speaker, we will only make decisions we can afford. That is why we will look at that as part of a fiscal event.
Now, the next scheduled fiscal event is the autumn budget, but the last Labour Prime Minister says that's too late.
If it's going to change for next winter, as you know, a decision is going to be made pretty soon because the payments start being made in, I think, October, November. So you're going to have to make a change pretty soon. And I'm sure that Keir would not have announced something today if he didn't have a plan about how to achieve it.
It's good girl. Come on, what's it?
Whatever the plan turns out to be, the removal of winter fuel payments from pensioners like Marion has been a bit of a dog's dinner.
I did feel he went against his word, saying he was going to look after the pensioners, and that's one of the first things he did. So I did feel that was rather unfair of him. And if he had looked into what it was going to cause, it would have saved him the embarrassment of a U-turn now.
After a grim set of local election results and the loss of the Runcorn by-election to Reform, Labour MPs have been queuing up to tell the Prime Minister to change course. Do you believe the Prime Minister when he says he's doing this because the economy has got better?
No, I think he's doing it because he came under so much pressure from people like me on the left of the party, but from perfectly respectable MPs, because they were hearing it from their constituency. He heard it from MPs on all wings of the party.
So why is he doing this now? It's because he's feeling political pressure. He should have listened to all of those elderly people and pensioners who were on the winter fuel payment who told him this was a cruel decision.
Tonight, those same people still don't know who will get the fuel payment back and whether they will get it this winter or not. Carl Din in ITV News, Westminster.
Well, while the Prime Minister was preparing for his winter fuel announcement, the Work and Pensions Secretary was defending billions of pounds being slashed from the welfare bill. But tonight, ITV News can exclusively reveal a top parliamentary committee is urging a pause in the changes. Analysis shows all 10 of the areas likely to be worst hit by planned changes to personal independence payments, or PIPs, are Labour-held constituencies in the North West and the North East of England. Our Deputy Political Anushka Astana travelled to 3 of them, Hartlepool, Sunderland South and Easington, and heard real concerns about the cuts.
Keir Starmer may be pulling back on winter fuel payments, but he is standing by plans to cut benefits.
The current system is broken.
But worries from his own MPs keep rolling in.
This shouldn't come at the cost of disabled people.
Many know that Labour areas across the north of England will be among the hardest hit, including here in Hartlepool.
Hi, Jonathan.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Where the so far loyal local MP is now preparing to rebel.
So tell me how it's been. Has your inbox been inundated?
Incredibly so. The government's belief in getting people back to work is right, and I think that in the long term that will bring the welfare bill down. That's the right thing to do, but doing it in this order to these people I think is wrong.
Will it be hard to vote against your government?
It's incredibly hard.
Jonathan said the policy was raised on the doorstep when Labour lost a once-safe council ward to Reform UK. Nearby, he hears from constituents who are physically disabled.
I have spondylosis in the neck, on the spine.
Severe osteo, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia.
And mentally unwell.
I've got PTSD, ADHD, I suffer from anxiety as well.
They're all scared of losing the disability benefit PIP.
It's like kicking somebody with some sticks away, just kicking them away. That's what it feels like.
Before I qualified for the PIP, I was very reclusive because of what happened to me when I was younger.
David was stabbed multiple times as a child. He volunteers at a soup kitchen but says he would struggle to secure paid work. Angela's disabled daughter has applied for 40 jobs.
As soon as they know what they've got, disability discrimination is still out there.
Then this.
Nothing personal, Mr. Brash. It's just that I have a problem with your boss.
Just north is Easington, where a decimated coal industry has left rife disability and a lack of jobs.
How many people would have worked here in the past?
Oh, thousands.
Data says the cuts will hit harder here than anywhere else.
See people who are in precarious positions because of their income every day.
It sounds to me like you think these reforms will be devastating.
Yes, I genuinely believe that we will lose lives because of it.
We've been to 2 constituencies where the Labour MP is going to vote against these reforms, but other areas that are hard hit are represented by ministers.
The Education Secretary's seat is also hard hit. There is a mix of views, some supporting the cuts, but back in Westminster, more pressure, as tonight we can reveal that Parliament's Work and Pensions Committee is urgently calling for the reforms to be paused.
The government say they need to save money.
And we recognise that, but there are other ways of saving money or raising money that doesn't jeopardise the well-being and health of sick and disabled people.
The committee heard evidence that suicides could rise as a result of the reforms.
So, Nushka, do you think the government has been surprised by the level of opposition to the suggested reforms on PIP and also the winter fuel allowance?
I mean, on winter fuel allowance, they have known that there was a hurricane of opposition, as it's been described to me, since last summer. But something changed after the local election results. They were resistant to a U-turn, but anger exploded, and it has exploded over these welfare reforms as well. And that is why I do expect there to be some concessions here. That said, Liz Kendall, the Welfare Secretary, came out fighting today. She was using punchy language, arguing that this is about getting people into work and that she's not going to back down on that. The committee that you just heard from, the Work and Pensions Committee, and its chair, Debbie Abraham, say they agree with that, but they think this needs to be paused because of the health concerns they have around it.